Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news show discussing everything that's happened in a very busy day for United, a very busy couple of hours in a very busy week. Harry Maguire on the verge of joining West Ham. Reports are coming in that Maguire will agree to join West Ham. West Ham have been given strong indication that Maguire will join and that West Ham and Manchester United are only a couple million away on the valuation, and West Ham set to put in another bid that could be closer to that valuation, and a deal for Maguire could even be done in the next few hours. Maguire could be out, which, considering Manchester United have just reopened talks with Todibo, there's a feeling that maybe Man United believe Maguire's going to go, having open centre-backs with Todibo again. They haven't been in talks with Todibo for about 2 months, so they're opening those talks again. Exciting. We're going to talk about the news, and then I'm going to talk about Todibo, why this will be such a good signing, why this will be such a great replacement for Maguire. I went and watched 90 minutes of niche play. I just kept my eye on Todibo just now, watched some of his highlights, kind of getting understanding of the player that he is. We will talk about that, but McTominay could also be moving very, very soon as well, people. West Ham reportedly are going to put another bid in for McTominay, and Manchester United are willing to drop their valuation from 45 million to 40 million to get the deal done. And obviously United expecting Amrabat movement as well in the coming days. So this is a massive week for United because apparently Fred is going to announce his new club like in the next few days where he's going. Maguire could be going to West Ham. Todibo could be joining. Amrabat should be joining. Scott McTominay could be leaving. We still don't know what's going on with Dean Henderson. There's a whole kind of situation there with Nottingham Forest wanting to buy Dean Henderson. Potentially Harry Kane's going to stay at Spurs now, and United could get Harry Kane in January. There's a whole lot of news going on as well. But we're going to dive right into the story. So please do smash the like button and, of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Nothing is done. Nothing is official. But it looks like things are going to be done because it's come out now that Harry Maguire has indicated he's keen to join West Ham if they can agree a fee. There are reports coming out that West Ham have got strong indications that Maguire will agree to join them if Man United can agree a fee with West Ham. Laurie Whitwell, very, very credible journalist that works for The Athletic, did say that West Ham have been given encouragement from Maguire's camp that he'd be willing to join. Yes, there is a slight problem on Maguire's wages. Obviously, his wages would be half at West Ham, but there's a feeling that United will be willing to bridge the gap for that, and that there are multiple reports coming out now that actually West Ham have been encouraged that Maguire would like to join from Laurie Whitwell. Harry Maguire and his camp have reportedly indicated to West Ham that he would join and that he'll agree to join if they can agree a fee. So despite reports that, Harry Maguire wasn't sure if he wanted to leave Man United, it was obviously said that West Ham are optimistic they can strike a deal for Maguire. West Ham have had contact with Maguire's camp and they feel that Harry will agree to join. He's given strong encouragement. However, West Ham have said they cannot cover his 190k a week wages, but they believe they can come to an agreement because United might partly cover the salary. So there is a feeling coming out from good reports as well that West Ham are not far away from agreeing a deal for Maguire, and they believe that with United potentially preparing to bridge the gap in wages, they feel that Maguire will agree to join them. So Maguire hasn't officially agreed to join West Ham, but reports are saying that West Ham are confident Maguire will agree to join them. So this is big as well, because I think with Harry Maguire, we know that West Ham will up their bid, and we know that Man United and West Ham will strike an agreement with Harry Maguire in the coming hours. West Ham bid 30 million, Man United wanted 35. There's a 5 million valuation, and that was West Ham's second bid at 30 million. They've got a lot of money for Declan Rice. They need a centre-back. If there's only 5 million between Man United and West Ham's valuation, and Manchester United could potentially bridge the gap in wages, to potentially get Maguire out and have open talks with Todibo. The fact that United have open talks with Todibo again says to me they're very confident Maguire will go. I think Man United and West Ham, we could even hear tonight in the next couple of hours, will agree a deal for Maguire. I think Man United and West Ham will get a deal agreed for Maguire in terms of the fee agreed and all of that. But obviously, it's about does Maguire agree to join West Ham or not? The only thing that's stopping Maguire going to West Ham, I think, is if Maguire agrees to join West Ham or not. Reports are coming out saying that there's a feeling that Maguire will agree to join West Ham. Melissa already said that West Ham and Manchester United are not far away from agreeing a deal for Harry Maguire, and there is strong optimism from the West Ham camp that the deal will be done. West Ham are seeming increasingly confident a deal for Maguire will be done. As I said, the only thing I think that stops this deal being done is Maguire saying no. But lots of reports from good journalists are saying West Ham have been encouraged that Maguire would like to join them as well. As Gaz says, guys, please do smash the likes for Alice, and of course subscribe down below if you're new as well. Someone said, why have you got Lavia in the thumbnail? Don't be deluded. Honestly, I want to quickly address the Lavia to Manchester United story. I put Lavia in my thumbnail and I said, Man United Lavia hijack in my video the other day. I said, because I didn't talk about Lavia to the last 2 minutes of the video, I said on Lavia to United, there's a story coming out from, not Paul Hurst, Paul Joyce, was it? There was a story coming out from a good journalist that said that Manchester United might make a move for Lavia and were contemplating replacing McTominay with Lavia and making a move and hijacking the Liverpool deal. There was a report that came out from a good journalist that United would potentially, if they sold McTominay, would use those funds to sign Lavia and hijack the deal and get Lavia on top of Amrabat. I'm going to just clear this up on Lavia to United before I get into the Todibo story, because the Todibo story is really interesting. I think that story has been planted by Southampton. I don't think, even if we sell McTominay, we will make a move for Lavia. I'd like us to, but I said in my video, I think this story that United are going to sell McTominay, make a move for Lavia, is because Southampton are fed up of Liverpool putting in a 40 million bid, a 42 million bid, a 43 million bid, a 44 million bid, a 45 million bid. They want 50 million for Lavia. I think Southampton have planted that story to scare Liverpool. Lavia to Liverpool is so advanced. I don't think United will hijack Lavia to Liverpool. We're not that club. If we were Man City, I'd be like, this club could hijack that deal. If we were Chelsea, this club could hijack that deal. But United don't hijack deals because we're just not that club. We are the ones that got hijacked by Liverpool, unfortunately. Even if the player would rather come to Champions League United, I don't see us just going and bidding 50 million for Lavia. I think that story, because even though it's come from reliable sources, I think that story was planted by Southampton sources to scare Liverpool. I actually don't think United are going to make a bid for Lavia. Alice, you look awesome today. Big up everybody in the chat as well. Man United should have set a 30 million offer for West Ham. Do you know what I've said? Man United want 35 million from West Ham for Maguire, but obviously there's a wage issue. Now, there's a feeling that there's going to be Man United are going to bridge the gap in this wage issue for West Ham. Potentially West Ham bid 35 million and Man United say we're going to bridge the gap with this wage issue. Or potentially Man United say to West Ham, you know what, you've bidded 35 million, but you need to pay him slightly higher wages. Maybe we'll upset the 30 million bid. The only way I upset the 30 million bid for Maguire is because of the wages. So then that extra 5 million they would have spent to get 35 million could cover his wages. That is how I would potentially look at the Maguire deal, because it's apparently United are going to help bridge the gap in wages. But you've got to look at it with Maguire and McTominay. Yes, we got a 60 million double bid for Maguire and McTominay. And yes, Maguire and McTominay, if we keep both of them, we'll probably only be able to sell them for 40 million combined next season, because they're not going to play a lot of minutes and they're going to depreciate in value and their contract will be a year down. So it's really important that we do sell Maguire and McTominay because their value is going to go down massively. But Manchester City would get a 60 million bid for Maguire and McTominay, and Manchester City would say, no, we want 80 million. And then it would probably strike a deal with West Ham and agree 75 million for both of them. If United wants to become a better club at selling, and we always sit here and we always complain that United aren't the best club at selling this, United aren't the best club at selling that. But if United generally do want to become a better club at selling, then this is something that we need to do. We need to take a book out of City's, a leaf out of City's book. And we've rejected this bid, and we're putting out stories that both these players are going to be incredibly important for next season. We're putting out all these stories about how important these players will be for next season, how they're in the plans, and all of that. United are putting out all these reports, and this is what City would do, because West Ham think we're not desperate to sell. West Ham have the money. Man United know that West Ham have got 105 million for Declan Rice and recently put in a 40 million bid for Conor Gallagher. When you know West Ham have the money, you go, you know what, we want 40 million a piece. We want 80 million for both. They bid 60 million. We're saying we want 80 million for the both. Then you agree a deal around 70 million. I think a deal could be struck at around 70 million. And I think United have found a way to probably get an extra 3 or 4 million from Maguire, but easily an extra 10 million from McTominay. I think we will make about 10 million more from doing this, because if we want to be better at selling, we can get 70 million for both players. There was a feeling that this was a 60 million bid and West Ham were going to walk away. Man United took the risk. Guess what? Fabrizio Romano said West Ham haven't walked away. They're coming back with another bid. West Ham put in a bid, it was rejected. West Ham said they were going to walk away, take it or leave it offer. 2 hours later, Romano confirms West Ham are coming in to up their bid. United did the right thing. People were saying, oh my God, why would we reject that? Because we knew that West Ham were going to put another bid and they were just playing around. We knew that they're going to bid higher. We knew that we could get 70 million. And we know that the Maguire bid's going to be up. So West Ham are focusing on Maguire, then they will focus on McTominay. But reportedly, the Maguire deal is so close. And that is why United have opened talks with Todibo again, because the Maguire deal is just getting closer and closer and closer. So I think United have done the right approach there. I do want to get into some more news as well. How we do a transfer, we agreed personal terms before a bit. Well, basically, it's being said that there's a feeling that if West Ham can strike a deal with Man United for Maguire, which they believe they will, they believe that United will help bridge the wage gap problem, and that West Ham have got positive encouragement from Maguire's camp that he will agree to join. West Ham have got positive encouragement from Maguire's camp that he will agree to join as well. So there could be a here we go as well. So keep smashing the likes, guys. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new as well. I am going to scroll down. I do want to talk about Todibo, but I want to get quickly through the news as well. It was also said that Harry Maguire is ready to play under David Moyes and ready for a fresh challenge. So let me just power through this news so we can talk about Todibo quickly. It was said Harry Maguire is ready and ready for a fresh challenge and is excited by the prospect of a move to play under manager David Moyes at West Ham. It's saying that Harry Maguire is now open to a move at West Ham. He's kind of accepted that his time is up and he will agree a deal. Melissa Reddy said deals are not far away from being agreed. And Mr. Dom Smith of the Standard said that West Ham are optimistic they can strike a deal for Harry Maguire. Manchester United are ready to offload Maguire, and while West Ham will not cover his £190,000 a week wages, it is hoped they will come to an agreement because United are willing to help cover his salary to help offload the star, and that West Ham are going to up their bid and United will accept the 35 million bid for Maguire. And Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that as right now there are talks going on actively between both Man United and West Ham for Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, but reliable sources, people like the Muppeteers, people that are briefed by United, is saying that this Maguire story is particularly advanced because Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed that Manchester United have had contacts with Todibo, and new reports from France are saying that Manchester United in recent hours have opened contracts with Todibo, and they would only be doing that if they felt Maguire was going to leave. And Maguire leaving it, we know that West Ham are going to up their bid. We know that United are open to selling Maguire, but now we're getting stories from decent sources that Harry Maguire is ready for a fresh challenge at West Ham. Harry Maguire ready to accept the West Ham deal, and if that is the case, Maguire will very likely be out the door as well. Keep smashing the like button. Only chance we get Kane is bid 100 million. We don't have that amount, maybe not until January when hopefully he glazes out. I will talk about Kane in a second. So David Ornstein has come out today, guys, and David Ornstein has said that Harry Kane is leaning more towards staying at Tottenham Hotspur than moving to Bayern Munich. If Harry Kane stays at Tottenham Hotspur, will he sign a new deal? I very much doubt it, when he knows that he is 6 months away from going to any club in the world abroad, or less than a year away from going to any Premier League club. There is a feeling because of Daniel Levy being difficult, Harry Maguire has now leaned towards staying at Tottenham Hotspur. This is said by David Ornstein, which would mean that Daniel Levy, if he does not sign a new deal, which is unlikely, Daniel Levy, Tottenham will be forced to sell Kane in January, but Kane could agree to go to Bayern for free in January. So that would mean if they want to get any money for Harry Kane, Tottenham would have to sell into a Premier League rival in January. And there's a feeling, obviously, with United reports coming out that the Qatar takeover, according to the Sun, it is the Sun, but it was Neil Curtis of the Sun, said that the Qataris will be the new owners of United in November. If that is the case, Manchester United could probably get Harry Kane very, very easily for 50 million in January. And I do think that is one to keep an eye on, although that is quite speculative news at the moment. Definitely one to listen out for as well. I knew that West Ham will come in hard to get these players because of the 4-1 loss at the weekend, and the deal will be closed for 80 million. I think it will be 70 million. We've asked for 80. They've bid 60. I think it will be agreed in the middle, 70. Like how United were going to bid 45 million for Mason Mount and Chelsea wanted 70 million. It was kind of agreed at 55 million. I think with 60, if you include the add-ons that we probably won't pay as well. Maguire should start packing. By the way it sounds, it looks like Maguire is pretty much already packing to leave Manchester United as well. And Todibo and Amrabat will make the team complete. They will be absolutely fantastic signings for United as well. But yeah, let's continue on with the story. Should we quickly get into the McTominay news, and then we'll get into the Todibo news? So basically, Maguire excited by the prospect of playing. Laurie Whitwell did say today that Ten Hag would ideally like to keep hold of Scott McTominay, but if a bid came in for 40 million, United would not reject. And it is believed that United will make a compromise with West Ham, 40 million for McTominay. Now, why I want to mention, and a lot of people might not think much about the story, but reports have come out that Hannibal Mejbri is now going to stay at United. Okay, just listen to this. We have been told within the last couple hours regarding Manchester United that we've opened talks with Todibo and that Hannibal Mejbri is set to stay. Hannibal Mejbri was about to go on loan to Luton, and Manchester United pretty much said they will only go in for a centre-back if Maguire leaves. The fact that West Ham are now in talks confirmed by Fabrizio Romano for McTominay and Maguire, and Hannibal Mejbri is now being reportedly staying at United, and all of a sudden we've opened talks with Todibo again, that purely says to me United are expecting Maguire and McTominay to leave. The Maguire deal is so close, people. People don't understand how close it is. The McTominay deal, this is, can Man United reach a compromise? The fact that they're telling Mejbri to stay, the fact that they're opening talks for Todibo, there are very reliable journalists saying, yeah, United expect these players to leave. United expect these deals to be done. United are, already weighing up Amrabat. United are doing stuff as if these deals are going to be done. United are acting as if these deals are going to be done as well. Smash the like button, people, because I am going to now get into the news on Todibo to United. Now, what I want to say about Claire-Todibo is I've watched a little bit of him play today. I've read up some information on him. I've watched some highlight reels. I've read a lot of stuff on Todibo, so I am going to talk about the player, and I think he will be a really good signing. A lot of people worry about physical presence. Would he partner Martin as well? But in fact, I think that Claire-Todibo would really, really partner Lissandro Martin as well. You're replacing a 35-year-old Maguire with a 23-year-old centre-back, and Todibo and Saliba, when they played together, were unreal. William Saliba and Todibo played together at Nice, and they were absolutely unreal. So it was said here, Claire-Todibo is Manchester United's priority target if Harry Maguire leaves and contracts have already taken place. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, who are the other targets? Well, Todibo is the clear target. You know how Onana was the clear target, but we had a few other targets, but it was Onana. Todibo is the clear target now. Kim Min-jae is gone. Obviously, Disasi is gone. I spoke to someone, actually, and I haven't seen anyone really report this in the media, but I actually spoke to someone, a source that I have that I trust. And I don't claim to have sources. I'm not one of those people I'm not an ITK, but I spoke to someone and they said Pavard is actually one of the other names, but Todibo is clear priority. So Benjamin Pavard, if this falls through, keep an eye on that one. I'll say that now. But it was said that Todibo is United's priority if Maguire leaves. Now, we know that from Fabrizio Romano. That's very obvious. But Manchester United reportedly opened talks in the last hours for Todibo again. So they're probably getting some clear indication that Maguire will leave. It was said that Manchester United have opened talks with Nice and Claire-Todibo's entourage in anticipation of Maguire's sale. So United right now have been having discussions for Maguire. RMC Sports said there are discussions right now ongoing between Manchester United and Todibo's entourage, and they have been constructive and positive. There is a feeling that Todibo would be open to joining Manchester United. So we know that the deal between Todibo and Juventus fell down, but United are now open talks in the last few hours with him, his entourage, and ahead of the sale of Maguire. And Manchester United have got a feeling from Todibo that he would be open to joining United. And some reports are coming out saying a deal is imminent. Now, these are dodgy sources coming out saying the deal is imminent, but they could be right because good sources are saying talks have opened again today. Romano has confirmed he is the target. Man United, the fact that opening talks believes Maguire will be sold, reports that Maguire is open to leaving. This could be really good business from United. And this actually, in fact, could be one of the smartest deals and bits of business that Manchester United have done in a very long time. Big up everybody in the chat. I'm really sorry that I've not been getting through the live chat too much today, but there's just so much news to get into. So I am going to go and answer your live chat comments in just a second, people. So do not worry as well. I just want to talk about Todibo and the player that he is, and then I want to kind of go through the live chat. Matt, I want your opinion. I want everybody to comment in the live chat right now. What do you think is a good deal for McTominay and Maguire? I'd push for 70 million. I'd play hardball on 70 million. But if I really thought they were going to walk away, I would accept 65 million. I would go for 70 million. I'm intrigued to know how much would you guys want for Maguire and McTominay? Would you have accepted the 60 million bid, or do you know that West Ham are desperate and got a lot of money as well? Also, it has been said that the MRI scan conducted as part of Rasmus Højlund's medical last week revealed a stress response hotspot in his back, which can be the start of a stress fracture in young players. So there's a small fracture in Rasmus Højlund's back that they think will only take 3 weeks to heal. And Fabrizio Romano has just given a here we go. Fabrizio Romano breaking, here we go. Arsenal have reached an agreement to sign David Raya. Here we go. Deal agreed with Brentford after personal terms agreed last week. So Ramsdale in the mud. Raya, here we go as well. So yeah. Interesting news coming in that Arsenal have agreed a deal, and reports coming out that if Manchester United can get over 70 million for McTominay and Maguire, they may make a move for a last-minute striker. So, I mean, I have to say this August is delivering. But let's talk about Todibo. What I like about Todibo is he's got everything that Maguire doesn't have. I've watched a few games of Todibo. I've read up about him. I'm not going to act like I was an expert on this player, but I did say I preferred him to Disasi a couple months ago. And what I like about him is he's very good at stopping counterattacks. That's something we need. Maguire has been caught out on the counterattack. Maguire isn't good against those one-on-one dribbles. Todibo is someone that's very confident starting in a high line. Martinez, Onana, Todibo. Those three players at United, a diamond of Onana, Martinez and Todibo. Onana, Martinez and Todibo. Those three guys all comfortable playing so high up the pitch. And if those three players are so comfortable playing high up the pitch, the midfield for United will be higher up the pitch, the attack for United will be higher up the pitch, and United will gradually score more goals. He has incredible composure on the ball, and he's very good in possession, just like Lisandro Martinez. Good on the ball, good on possession, good composure, good ball playing centre back, which is exactly what Ten Hag wants for his system as well. And he's best known for attacking, for obviously stopping counterattacks. But did you know this? Todibo is pretty much in like the top 99% for pretty much players in the top 5 leagues at carrying the ball. Centre backs that carry the ball forward, very good at carrying the ball. Todibo is very good at that. Todibo has a lot of touches. He's very good at moving the ball forward. He's in one of the top percentage of players. A lot of them obviously are French players as well. He's also very good in terms of attack. He actually averages 0.62 expected assists per game and 5 chances. 5 chances created in big games last season where he was creating chances, almost getting assists. He can really help going forward. When I watched Todibo, I looked at the guy and I thought that he was very good at defending wide areas, which I think is something United have struggled with. United often have conceded silly crosses in wide areas, and I think what Todibo adds is he's very good at defending in wide areas. He's very good one-on-one, as I said earlier, when players were running at Maguire, or when we used to play Maguire and Lindelof, and fast players would be running at them. Maguire doesn't have the pace to deal with that. He would be particularly scared. Todibo does have the pace. Todibo is very confident at stopping counterattacks and is great one-on-one. He's rapid. He's good at defending the wide area. Obviously, what he's got is good, quick recovery pace. I know that like speed in a centre-back is a little bit overrated. Like, I think you can be slow in a good centre-back, but you need at least one centre-back that's quick. Obviously, John Terry was slow, but Todibo is quick, and I think Maguire's slowness is what used to catch us out a little bit as well. He seems to be less mistake-prone than Maguire. However, I think if Maguire makes this mistake, it gets clipped everywhere. If anyone other centre-back makes a mistake, it doesn't really get clipped. So maybe he's made mistakes and it's just not been clipped. But he's a good progressor of the ball, and that is good at carrying the ball, good at passing the ball. He's very good at getting the ball from defence to midfield, which is something that we've lacked. I love Raphael Varane. I think Raphael Varane is an absolutely brilliant centre-back. But I think Raphael Varane, his one downside, and I thought he was fantastic at this in pre-season. I thought Raphael Varane's passing in pre-season was brilliant, and he must have taken this personal. But he's not naturally a ball-playing centre-back, which is fine because we've got Martinez and Onana, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not one of those people that thinks Raphael Varane is bad. There's a few Twitter tacticos that try and think that Varane isn't good enough. Varane is a fantastic centre-back. He's brilliant, of course. But I think Todibo, long-term, because of Varane's injury record, because of Varane's age, is a good replacement because he is better than Varane on the ball. He's very good at passing the ball, carrying the ball, dribbling the ball, just like Martinez. You know how we all just love watching Lisandro Martinez play and how good he is at dribbling on the ball? Fine. The one weakness with Todibo, and the one thing that has come out in his statistics, is his aerial duels. We've got Martinez that isn't very good. Well, Martinez is fine in the air, but he's not tall. He's not, do you know what I mean? There's a feeling that United might not be good in the air if they had a partnership with Todibo and Lisandro Martinez. Now, I think height and physicality is so overrated in the centre-backs. Drew and Timber, Lisandro Martinez have proven that height is not that important at Ajax. Drew and Timber look great at Arsenal. Martinez was fantastic for us last season. I think that height is definitely something that I think is becoming overrated in football. But I didn't notice any aerial weakness. I know statistics have suggested that Todibo is not good in the air, but from what I've watched of him so far, I didn't think, this guy's not good enough in the air. I didn't notice any aerial weaknesses. There was no bit of me that was like, I'm scared. Guys, everybody please do smash the like button. We're so close to that like target. We're going to go for 500 likes by the end of the live stream. So if everybody watching right now could smash that like button, it would be really appreciated. Let's see if we can get 500 likes. I will be going through a few live chats in a second as well. 65 million for the players and run. People saying 60 million including add-ons. Let me know how much money you would take from Maguire and McTominay. Some people holding out for 80 million. There's a feeling that a deal could be done between 65 and 70 million for the two players. I will get right back into the news in a second. Don't worry as well. Todibo can cover both centre-back and right-back. I want to talk about Todibo quickly and actually how versatile he is. Did you know Todibo actually started his career as a DM? Todibo started his career as a DM. He played DM throughout all of the youth ranks. He actually could play DM for United, but basically on his debut, they stuck him in a centre-back, even though he'd been a DM his whole career, and now he's become a centre-back. So he actually grew up as a DM, so he's definitely got. I think that's one of the reasons he's so good on the ball. Isn't he? He was a born midfielder, so he obviously played 46 games last season, 4,000 minutes, and why I'm pointing that out is injury record. I love Varane, but Varane injury record is incredibly frustrating. To have someone that could play 4,000 minutes last season, that is very reliable, good injury record. Obviously played centre-back pretty much the whole of last season for Nice. But if we actually look at his career balance, and we look at the 21-22 season here, again, 3,400 minutes, lots of minutes, and predominantly played centre-back. But he has played DM, he has played right-back in the past. I think this was the year he was at... I thought it was at Barcelona that year, but obviously this was the third season he moved at age 20, very, very young. If we look at him when he was a teenager, because obviously he's had quite the career as well. Obviously had a spell in the Bundesliga as a teenager there, and then he was at Barcelona for a little bit, wasn't he? Or am I thinking of the other one? But yeah, he's had a lot of experience, but obviously I'm not gonna act like I heard of this guy 4 years ago. I've only heard of him the last year and a bit. But good injury record, has played right back, has played DM in games, someone that could be very, very good as well. Do they want 50 million for him? There's reportedly that it will be done at 35 million. Basically, Man United want 35 million for Maguire, and reportedly Todibo will cost 35 million, but soon, and Juventus were quoted 35 million. Now United have been linked with him. There's quotes at about 40 million. I think Romano or someone reliable said 38 million for Todibo. I'm pretty sure I saw someone quite reliable out there say that he would cost 38 million, which for me, 38 million for the player would be a very good price. I'm just going to quickly Google what his price would be as well. Some people are saying that Højlund's injury is more serious than first disclosed, and that Højlund could miss the first couple of months of the season. There's a feeling that Højlund's injury is a bit more serious, which hopefully that isn't the case. There's just reports coming out now, guys, that Højlund's injury is quite serious. Hopefully that's not the case, but there's a feeling that Todibo could be done at 38 million. Good French sources have said that it would cost 38 million pounds to sign Todibo. You get 35 million for Maguire. That's a 3 million net spend to replace Maguire with Todibo, and that is taking into account the fact that obviously Maguire is 30, Todibo is 23. I think that is really good business for United as well. I am quite behind on the live chat, so do put any questions in the live chat down below as well. And at least we should get 70 million for both McTominay and Maguire, which is good deals. And yeah, but there is news coming out that Højlund's injured, which isn't good as well. And Todibo gets injured like Maguire. This is a Man United fan channel, not a West Ham fan channel for anyone that's new. If you are new, guys, please do subscribe down below to my channel. I go live every single evening on the channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. So if you do want to stay up to date with all things Manchester United news, transfer news, all stories, please do subscribe down below to my channel, live every single day on the channel throughout the transfer window. But I want to talk a little bit more about Todibo. You've got to just look at the fact that Maguire is 30. He's not in Ten Hag's plans. United are going to get 35 million for Maguire and then bring in Todibo for 38 million, who is exactly who Ten Hag wants, according to Romano as well. You've also got to take into account the fact that Todibo is great in build-up. He's very good at defending wide areas. And I actually read a thread on Claire-Todibo by Everyday Man United FC, and he said he's 6'3". He's so even though he's not quoted at being good in the air, he is 6'3". He's 23. He's a centre back. He's played for France. He's been very good for Nice, and that his strengths are ball carrying, progressive passing, retention, tackling, very good defensive awareness and positioning, which is something that United have lacked. He's very good at concentrating, good recovery speed, and also, high recoveries from aggressive defending. So basically, there's no outstanding weaknesses that was pointed out in this thread, and his strengths were ball carrying, progressive passing, retention, which is exactly what you want as well. So Everyday Man United did a really good thread on Todibo that I want to share with you guys, because it really gives an insight into the player. And obviously I'm not someone that watches a lot of the French league, you know that. But in this thread, he kind of spoke about him, and he said, Todibo came through at French club Les Lisaces before a move to Toulouse. His performance got him a big move to Barcelona. Unfortunately, the move didn't work out due to some off-the-field issues Todibo had. After 2 loans, he moved to Nice on loan before making his stay permanent. He's only 23 as well. Todibo said on this, I lacked humility, seriousness, and professionalism. I don't know who I thought I was. I'm now doing the best that I can, not so people can say that I've changed, but because it makes me feel good. So there was attitude issues at Barcelona, but the fact that he's come out and owns that, and when he was at Barcelona, he was 18, 19. You know, people were talking about Garnacho having attitude issues a year ago because Garnacho was late for two games, and then Ten Hag gave him discipline, and Garnacho has not shown any attitude issues since. You know, young players do have that. I'm not too worried about that. He mentioned on Todibo that Todibo is a top passer of the ball. He has a really wide range of passing with fantastic retention across all types. Needs to play a high volume passing build up. Todibo at the heart of this, playing short passes around the press line, progressions or switch and all of that. And if you just, this is the gold mine. For me, this is the gold mine for Todibo, because we are looking at here, passes completed, 87th percentile. Look at all these greens, passes completed, passes attempted, pass completion, progressive passes, the 90th percentile for nearly everything in terms of the passing metric stats, which indicates how good that he is on the ball. You look at things like passes into the final third, passes into penalty area, crosses into penalty area, progressive passes, again, very, very high, highlighting how good he is at the ball. Now, I can't show the rest of the thread because there's videos and I will get copyrighted, but I just thought that would give an indication of the kind of player he is. Is Amrabat going to Atletico? I'm not worried. I am going to get into your live chats. I am going to get into some other news stories because there are reports coming out about Amrabat going to Atletico Madrid. But the reason I'm not worried about that is the source that said Amrabat wants Atletico Madrid and not United isn't the best source in the world. If you've got Fabrizio Romano saying that Amrabat has said yes to United and Amrabat has rejected other clubs to join United, he wants to work with Ten Hag again, and then you get some random Italian source saying that basically Amrabat wants to go to Atletico Madrid and not United, which one are you going to believe? Fabrizio Romano or random Italian source? I'm going to believe Fabrizio Romano, so I'm not too worried. Matt Hughes said it's unlikely that Højlund will be able to play two matches a week for some time. There's a stress fraction there. The MRI scan on Rasmus Højlund is part of his medical found a stress response hotspot in his back. This can be the start of stress fractures in young players, so it's unlikely, out of precaution, that they're able to play twice a week for a while, which I don't think is the end of the world with the Højlund situation. The news that Højlund's not going to play twice a week, I don't think that's the end of the world. And the reason I'm going to say that's not the end of the world is, although I like Højlund and I want to see him play a lot, he didn't play a lot for Atalanta, and United didn't bring him in to play week in, week out. He's 20 years of age. United are preparing to play Sancho a lot centrally and play Rashford a lot centrally. While this is annoying, while this is frustrating, and while we went into the summer with striker being our number one priority, and we're going to have a striker that's not going to be able to play a whole lot, you know, it's not the end of the world as well. One sec. Sweet. Sorry, I had to reply to that. Sorry, I've got about 6 missed calls, and I was like, what? My phone's on mute, and I just seen that I had 6 missed calls, so I was like, what's going on here? But it has said an MRI scan on Rasmus Højlund as part of his medical found a stress response. I think it's annoying that there's an injury there to Rasmus Højlund, and it is frustrating. You know, I don't want Rasmus Højlund to be out injured, but I think that he wasn't probably going to play 2-3 games a week anyway. So while it's frustrating because we should have had a striker first game of the season, we should be playing striker. You know, we should have a established striker here ready for the start of the season. There's not much we can do, and I'd rather him not play for a couple of months, so then when he does play, he's not at risk of causing further injury. If he was at risk of causing further injury, then that would be a big problem as well. Todibo doesn't get injured as well. Todibo and Amrabat have got good injury records. All our signings have got good injury records, apart from Højlund, which is frustrating as well. Spending a lot of money on a striker that comes in injured is frustrating as well. I'm just going to scroll down the live chat as well. I am quite behind as well. Why do we buy a player with a stress fracture? They can be a bloody nightmare, says Kevin. And look, you make a point there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on this and how serious this is and anything like that. But it's clear that United really wanted this player, and they're like, we can wait. You know, they couldn't get Harry Kane. He was clearly the priority. I mean, part of me was saying potentially they could have maybe gone for Gonzalo Ramos. Gonzalo Ramos would have been basically the same fee, but United and Ten Hag were clear this is the player they want, and it just speaks of how highly Ten Hag wants him, and that this is what happens, that United have ignored that. It is frustrating, but it's going to limit his playing time at the start of the season. But I don't think he was going to play week in, week out every match at the start of the season either. So while this will limit his playing time, it's frustrating. I don't think it's as bad as first thought. It's just frustrating because we knew how important a striker was, and we've got one that's not ready. So anyway, just in, it has been said by Sky Sports that the deal for Maguire is very, very close. Sky Sports are claiming that a Maguire deal is edging close as well. And there are reports saying United obviously don't want to take any risk with Højlund's back injury, but he'll still be able to play a few games. And that's what obviously held up the announcement. It has been said as well that Bayer Leverkusen is set to make a bid for Kova, our goalkeeper. Suzuki has rejected United and Tom Heaton will stay. And that Al Nassr have held talks with Bailly, but they've not submitted their bid yet for Eric Bailly. So Eric Bailly has been told not to come back to training. He's not involved at all and not in the plans. So basically, not 100% sure with the Bailly situation, but he should be moving as well. And yeah, so lots of little stories coming out now. Reports coming out that Maguire is out. Maguire, here we go, could actually come in the next 24 hours. There's a feeling that Maguire could be a West Ham player. There's a feeling coming out that Maguire will be a West Ham player before Man United's match against Wolves, and that Maguire will leave, and maybe that friendly, but unfortunately he got booed, was his last game as well. Anyway, continuing on, everybody. We've got a few more stories to talk about, and that is that Manchester United are preparing to offer Wan-Bissaka a new deal as well. Interesting story coming in there. So do smash the like button as well. And why can't we buy another striker since we've got on or signed Højlund, and so far he's pinned with injury, then get another striker because Martial's not going to last long. And you know what, Isaac, I am with you. This is what United should do. The way I look at it is, now I'm actually going to show you my tweet. Is this the right screen? Yes, it is. Let me show you what I tweeted here. Where are we? This is it. Yeah. So here we are. So let me zoom out because that's very zoomed in. It was said here, outs. Basically, if you look at all the money we're expected to get for these players, and then you look at the money for Bailly, Henderson, Williams. Okay, we've got 20 million for Telles and Elanga, and this I'm not including add-ons in the buys, and I'm not including add-ons in the sales. We've got 20 million for Telles and Elanga. We should get 15 million each for Fred and Donny, which is around 30 million. So that's 50 million for these players. I reckon we'll get 70 million for Maguire and Scott. So that's 120 million. Bailly, Henderson, Williams. We're just going to say 120. We're just going to say Man United probably could make 100. Man United will probably make 130 to 140 million outs. We'll say 130 million because it's United. 130 million in outs, yeah? In ins, that's 100 million. Amrabat plus Højlund is 100 million because Højlund's add-ons will only be played if he scores a certain amount of goals. So that's 200 million. And then Todibo is 235 million. And then these will probably give us about 135 to 140 million. So we're looking at all of these players with a net spend of 100 million. We sign these 5 players, we sell these players. We're looking at a net spend around 100 million. Obviously, a star next to it. Manchester United have claimed that their budget is 120 million because of FFP, but it was actually found that Man United's budget is 150 million pounds. So if this equates to a net spend of roughly 100 million, Manchester United technically have 50 million pounds next. 50 million pounds left. If this all happens, if this goes to plan, we would have 50 million pounds left to potentially put place on a young striker or attacker. Or a striker. Obviously, we've been linked to the young Brazilian striker, Marcos Leonard. We've obviously been linked to Taremi of Porto, would be 20 million pounds. But my point is, whether it's a winger that can play and Rashford plays striker, whether it's a winger that can play central, whether it's a versatile forward like Gakpo or João Felix, my point is United could have 20 to 50 million pounds left to potentially bring in an attacker. Ten Hag has made it clear he would like a versatile attacker this window if the funds are there. And if this goes to plans, the funds are technically there. Whether the Glazers will spend or not, that is a question. But the funds are there. So the way I look at it, I go, Taremi is available for 20 million if we just want someone experienced that will score goals and a low-risk kind of player. You could wait till January and get Kane for probably 50 million, which if waiting to January meant we would 100% get Kane, I would wait to January. Even though Højlund should be fine by January, which kind of sounds silly, but you just know what Harry Kane is and what he brings. But Neymar's available on loan, been linked to United, don't think it will happen. Mbappe could be available on loan. PSG desperate to get rid of him, again, don't think it will happen. João Felix, potentially, I think that although his strengths are already our strengths, you've also got to look at things like other players that we've been linked to as well. But that there could be potential there for a deal to happen. There could be potential there for a deal to happen. Taremi would be perfect for us. A lot of people saying Taremi. I have no idea who the other player you've mentioned is. It sounds familiar though. Let me Google him. German footballer. Oh yeah, I'm going to recognise him from FIFA. 30-year-old striker, but don't know enough about him. I'd probably edge for Taremi. a little bit more as well. But Marcus Leonard, 15 million. Is he? The thing is with Marcus Leonard, great young striker, probably one of the most exciting prospects to come out at the moment. But we've already got Højlund. Would United be better off just going for an experienced striker as well? That's the thing as well. People talk about Amrabat to Atletico. I'm not worried about that. He has agreed to join United. People say maybe Mohamed Kudus. He's very close to joining Brighton, though. Very, very close. I think Taremi could be the most realistic as well. Look, Kane would be ideal, but that's not going to happen. There is a chance that MG comes back. But what we're going to say on MG11 is we saw the videos of him training. You probably saw the videos of him training. Did he look sharp? No. If you've not played football for 18 months, will he be match sharp right away? No. And this is the thing. This is the problem with Harry Kane. We could wait and sign Harry Kane for potentially 50 million in January, which is ideal. But because it's Højlund's injury only affecting the start of the season, do you want someone that's now? People will say, bring MG back, bring MG back, bring MG back. We saw videos of him training. He looked, I'm not going to be honest, he looked washed. He did not look sharp at all. And if you've not played football in 18 months, it will take a while for you to get match sharp. Let's say he does come back to United, he does come back to his best and he gets right on course. I still think it would take at least 2 months for him to get back to full match fitness playing 90 minutes. So for me, if a whole situation aside, still don't think that would be smart as well. I think we need, for me, if the budget is there, I think we need a striker as well. It's actually sad who are we going to get as a support striker to Højlund recovers. It could be Rashford out of position, which is frustrating as well. Marcus Leonard, it definitely a shout. They're definitely a good player in there. Don't really rate Rashford up front. I'm with you guys. I've never been the biggest fan of Marcus Rashford up front, in all honesty, as well. And we need one more midfielder, in my opinion, for that 50 million. I mean, look, it doesn't even have to be an attacker. Let's say we sign all of these players on the screen, and Arna Mount, Højlund, Amrabat, Todibo. We've got 50 million to make one more signing. Tell me in the chat who you're going. People saying 50 million for João Felix. Is that a risk because Rasmus Højlund's a striker that operates best in the left half space? Rashford's as a left winger that can play as a striker and operates best in the left half space. Is João Felix the best option because his strengths are where our strengths lie? On loan, it's a good option, but permanently 50 million. I think he's someone I'd buy on loan. Who would you buy? Would you buy a striker? Would you buy a midfielder? 50 million. It's a difficult one as well. Felix is obsessed with joining Barcelona as well. People say we shouldn't sign anyone over 28. Just not Martial. Ivan Toney in January, yeah, but I would go for Kane if I know Ivan Toney's a bit younger, just because Kane is just a crazy level as well. And people saying just save money till January and go Kane. You know what? I'm not opposed to Neymar on loan. I know Neymar has injury records. I know there's been controversial issues with Neymar and attitude problems, but I mean, look, Neymar on loan can play centrally, he can play left, he can play right. Would I turn down an opportunity for Manchester United to sign Neymar on loan? No. Neymar is a fantastic player. I have to say the club signed an injured striker without signing another striker. It is classic United. I have to say, while it's not the end of the world, because I don't think he was going to play every single game when he first joined, us needing a striker this whole window, striker has been United's priority. Manchester United have known that they've needed to sign a striker throughout the whole summer, and then they sign a striker that's injured. That is the most classic Manchester United thing to do. We need a striker. We know we needed a striker. We'll go sign a striker that's injured. It is the most Man United thing to do, but I don't think he was going to play week in, week out. Neymar on loan. I mean, look, Neymar. I'm very happy for Neymar on loan, but I know that a lot of people aren't a big fan of that as well. Premier League investigating Chelsea for Roman's time in charge. Ooh, tell me more. And we can't get the 2 deals done. Leonardo or Taremi, bring back MG. It's a risk with that one. I don't look. I'm not. The reason I don't talk about MG is because we don't know if he's coming back, and I don't think he'd be sharp if he does come back. I'm not interested in talking about the whole situation. It just gets boring. But what United need to do is tell us if he's coming back or not, because regardless of how you feel on the situation, everyone's got very mixed, strong opinions. I've said how I feel multiple times. I'm not getting into that. Regardless of how you feel in the situation, the fact that Manchester United have just loomed it over for months without actually telling us. It's like, we know you're just using an investigation as an excuse to delay your decision. You're clearly waiting for something. You're clearly waiting for a reason to announce that he goes or announce that he stays. And it's just boring now because like people say, it's just boring. Just tell us if he's going on loan. Tell us if he's staying, and then we can have a chat about it. If he does stay, what does he offer? Then we can have a chat about it. But United, for me, just avoiding that as well. And look, we may need another attacking-minded midfielder for squad depth, true, but I think you've got Mount, Bruno Eriksson that could be attacking-minded. I guess Donny going, but Mejbri could be staying more of that Donny role as well. So yeah, no more Woodward signings, no more toxic players, says 20 Legend. Would Neymar be a Woodward signing? Guys, can we hit 400 likes before the end of the live stream? Please do smash that like button if you have not already. Let's see if we can get 400 likes, people. That would be brilliant as well. We need Amrabat, Todibo, and another striker, and that's exactly what I agree with as well. That's what I would do. However, you know, Lavia for 50 million. I think the fact that it would just annoy Liverpool fans so much, I can't lie to you, the feeling of signing Lavia for 50 million just to wind up Liverpool fans, just to annoy Liverpool fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe it's just because I don't like Liverpool, but I think for me, I think a striker's needed more than Lavia if we get Amrabat. But if you get Lavia, you know that you absolutely rattle a load of Liverpool fans, which I can't lie, the idea of rattling a load of Liverpool fans, yeah, you know me, you know I like to rattle Liverpool fans as well. Raya, here we go to Arsenal, guys, and Cuckoo out for 4 months. We could complain about Højlund all we want, but Chelsea signed Nkunku literally a year ago, waited a year for Nkunku to join. Nkunku was fantastic for Chelsea in pre-season. Nkunku's out until December. Nkunku is out until Christmas. Nkunku's going to miss half of the season, people. So we could complain about Højlund. He'll miss a couple of games here and there. But Nkunku is going to miss half of the season. And you know what? Like, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but that's horrible. To join a club and then miss the first 4 months of the season. I'm no Chelsea fan, but that is horrible. I'm not going to celebrate that or anything like that. I know people will like that. But, you know, he's going to miss the first 4 months of the season. I mean, that's a big L for Chelsea. And I think Ramsdale could be on the way out of Arsenal as well, with Raya being signed. Interesting stories coming in as well. Just scrolling down the live chat, people. We need someone that's good on the ball. Mount and Bruno can't hold the ball for more than 3 to 5 seconds. This is why I really wanted Caicedo. And part of me is glad that we're not dealing with Brighton for Caicedo, because you can get Mount and Amrabat for less than Caicedo's going to cost us. But where United needed to improve is ball retention. You know I love Frankie de Jong. You know I don't like talking about Frankie de Jong, because Frankie de Jong to United, it is, you know, it's a hard one. But someone that's good at retaining the ball, Frankie de Jong and Moises Caicedo-esque player. I said that's what I wanted, not Mason Mount. Look, I'm happy with signing Mason Mount. I think he's a good player. I will back Mason Mount. But when we were linked to Mason Mount, I made it very clear I'd be looking at Barella. I'd be looking at Moises Caicedo. I'd have been looking at Enzo Fernandez if he was available. I'd have been looking at Frankie de Jong way before I'd have been looking at, of course, Mason Mount. I'd even have been looking at Declan Rice. But when you look at value for money, Mount and Amrabat would cost less than Enzo Fernandez. Mount and Amrabat would cost less than Declan Rice and cost less than Caicedo. And United did need 2 midfielders. We needed a curator. And then you bring Amrabat in to help with retention. Couldn't have United actually have taken the best option. I like Mount, but I did say, does he solve our issues? He's an improvement on Ericsson. He does a lot off the ball, but I do think ball retention could be an issue for United going into next season. Is the stream lagging? I do apologise if it's lagging. My Wi-Fi is just, you know what my Wi-Fi is like. It's a bit controversial at times as well. People saying Mount to flop. I think Mount won't flop. I think that Ten Hag knows what he's doing. If Ten Hag wants to play, I trust Ten Hag as well. Maino should be back soon. Maino will be back in end of September. So Maino will miss the first month of the season, but it shouldn't miss too much as well. Update on Amrabat deal. Basically, United are just waiting on Fred and Donny. United have an agreement with Amrabat in terms of a verbal agreement on personal terms. Amrabat said yes to United, so I'm not too worried about Atletico hijack. But I have to say, there's a chance we could lose out on Amrabat if we do take too long. But they're saying, look, people like Roman and Padello are saying, look, Man United, Amrabat, it's still good. Yes, it's quiet, but it's still good. It's still ongoing. It's about Fred. It's about Donny. And apparently Fred's going to announce his next club this week and leave this week. So I think things should be fine as well. Guys, please do smash that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, of course, make sure you're subscribed to Alice Talks Football. I go live every single day on the channel talking about Manchester United, all the latest Manchester United news, transfer stories coming out. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can stay up to date on all the latest United transfer news and stories that have been coming out. I'm going to wrap up today's live stream, so please do smash that like button and subscribe. There will be a bonus video tonight if any news comes out, so obviously subscribe with the post notification bell on. if lots of news come out, could be a bonus live stream, but will probably be a bonus video tonight because I do think we're going to get a big story coming out tonight, potentially on Todibo. I'm not sure who that story will be on, but yeah, thanks everyone for watching today's live stream. Please do smash that like button, of course subscribe down below, share the video, and a good comment here saying the fact we could bring Kim and Jay in for almost the same price as Todibo is frustrating. We've missed out with Kim and Jay, but that serves us right for being slow. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. We'll talk about Amrabat in tomorrow's video more. Bye.